Hi, I'm Jimmy. I work at NAB and I'm 28. That makes me one of the experts in the room on TikTok. So TikTok, it may have started as a platform for Gen Z dance challenges, but it has since grown to encompass every kind of content and community. It is a powerful platform that allows us to create authentic and engaging content, edutainment. So as we'll see in Will's TikToks, she's an engaging and funny presence while taking down the patriarchy or explaining why we need a First Nations voice to Parliament. Since launching in 2016, TikTok has skyrocketed through the app market to capture the hearts, minds, clicks, and swipes of social media users everywhere, with some seriously brag-worthy numbers. TikTok has 3 billion downloads, 1 billion monthly active users. In Australia, TikTok saw the most significant rise in usage, with users spending 29 hours and 36 minutes per month on the app. It was the second most downloaded app in 2022, second only to MyGov. You might remember that as the app that allowed you to do anything. And users tune in to find fun. 90% of TikTok users report the platform makes them happy and never gets boring. So with a shift like this, with Australians spending more time than ever on social media, we should be thinking about the opportunities that social media platforms like TikTok could provide to the FSU. We know that it's a place where younger people, in particular, younger women aged between 24 and 34, are spending their time as they engage with communities of interest. Will Strack, Victorian Trades Hall Council Assistant Secretary, is here with us today. She is a TikTok superstar with close to 63,000 followers and 1 million likes. Will is going to tell us what it's like living as a TikTok celebrity. Like, can she even walk down the street without getting a selfie? And should we be doing more Gen Z dances and more memes as a way of connecting with finance workers? But before we hear from Will, while this session is titled TikTok Frenzy, you can apply whatever social media app you use and an organizing lens over that, because that's what this session is all about. So all of us here are on one kind of social media platform or another, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. They all are effective ways that you can connect with your family and your friends. The same applies with how we use social media for organizing. Social media allows us to reach large numbers of workers with different messages in a variety of formats throughout the day. It's the perfect tool for building relationships and increasing engagement. Over the last few years, we've seen some iconic union-led campaigns in the United States that are worth mentioning here today. Two examples are the Our Walmart campaign and the recent Starbucks campaign. We're calling out these ones because they are big companies, and in many ways, they have similar attributes to employees across the finance sector. Both campaigns made innovative and intensive use of social media and gained unexpected and significant victories. In the Our Walmart campaign, social media was beneficial for constructing a network of participants and sympathizers. This was important. Walmart had a history of anti-union behavior. They had defeated previous attempts to unionize the workplace. Workers used social media to enable novel forms of digital collective action. This was used to complement more traditional types of organizing or offline actions. Walmart would expel organizers from stores, and that's something that our organizers can talk about as well, about the tactics used by the banks and insurers in holding our organizers at bay. They like to put organizers in a room on the deserted cobweb, spiderweb infested floor, or in a room right next to the bosses. So nobody dares to come in to talk to the organizer, and they have security guards shadow their every move. Walmart started dividing up union workers, transferring them to different stores or rostering them on new shifts so union workers couldn't have face-to-face conversations with each other. Social media provided workers with the opportunity to overcome those barriers and connect with each other and union organizers. It was through these online engagements that workers learned of similarities in the experiences and provided support to each other. Workers started uploading videos and took symbolic actions. The campaign started to see expansive solidarity. It crossed workplaces and borders. They used video conferencing calls and online voting apps to overcome the geographic dispersal of workers across the country. Workers were linking up, talking to each other, and making decisions about the campaign. None of this was happening in their physical workplaces. While we know that best campaigns involve workers, they also need other forms of leverage. Social media amplifies our offline actions because it increases visibility. Big finance companies spend a lot on marketing and protecting their brand. They don't like it when we seek to undermine that by publicly exposing their bad practices. During our Walmart's 2012 Black Friday Day of Action, around 600 workers were involved from a workforce of over 1 million. Yet our Walmart claims that the action of these few hundred workers generated over 300,000 Facebook posts and 60,000 posts on Twitter. The campaign proved surprisingly successful, gaining significant media traction. In the end, Walmart was pressured into increasing starting pay to $10 per hour, which improved the pay of more than 500,000 workers. There is a lot that we can take away from this short case study for our union. I think about the people that I work with in NAB and the role that social media can play in recruiting a younger generation of finance workers. What Will brings to her TikToks is a deliberate vitality. They engage with you, and they're a good way to increase young workers' integration and participation into union life. As we've already heard over the last 2 days, collective action is an indicator of union growth. Walmart showed that expansive solidarity and even small acts of participation enabled by social media provided a new pathway for young workers toward union membership. We are keen to hear Will's thoughts on the powerful way that we can use social media as an organizing tool. Over to Will.
So I will start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land that we're on today, pay respects to elders past and present, and extend that respect to any First Nations comrades who are with us here today. I acknowledge that the land was stolen, never ceded, and that it always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Right, I get to talk to you late in the afternoon about TikTok. I've got my this here because I can talk about this for days. Days I can talk about it. All right, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what TikTok is. I'm going to show you some TikToks. I'm going to get you ideally to download the TikTok app. There will be a moment where you can do that. Never fear. Downloading it doesn't do anything. All right. It's only going into it, creating that, all of that, right? But hopefully we'll do that too. So we'll go to the next. There we go. Yes. All right. Yep. There we go. All right. So I'll give you the signal when you're to play that. All right. So what is TikTok? TikTok is a social media platform. It's for video. So it's like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You've probably all got that. TikTok is exactly the same, only it's just videos. 5 seconds up to 10 minutes, right? Now, the first thing about TikTok is the videos don't need to, everyone worries, the videos don't need to be very good quality. The only thing I suggest is have good lighting. Apart from that, inside the app, it's got this amazing editing function. So you can knock something together, videotape something, and then add words, add captions, add effects. It can do it all for you using the app. And it creates community, right? Because when you do a TikTok or when you watch a TikTok, you can actually engage with it, which means you can duet with it. So you can do a video alongside the video of you reacting to that video, or you can stitch it. You can take a little bit of it, and then you can provide your own spin on it, which either agrees or disagrees. So you can tell them that they're a dickhead, or you can go, yes, totally agree with this. Now, I want you to watch this TikTok, and then I want you to guess how many people have watched it, right? All right. Who wants to take a punt? How many people have watched that? 6 million? Any advance on 6 million? 80 million is too high. Let's go down. How many? 15 million? Higher than 15 million. 18 is very close. 17 million people have watched that. So anyone who thinks that it's got to be good and high quality, I love that, by the way. That's one of my favorite TikToks ever. I actually think it's very clever, but there you go. All right. So that is a TikTok. Next slide. Okay. So Jimmy went through this, but TikTok currently has 8.3 million users in Australia. That is less than the other social media platforms. So Facebook has, 41.5% of social media users use TikTok. That compares to Facebook, where it's 74%, Instagram, where it's roughly 55%. But it has been the second most downloaded app for 2 years running in Australia. And the year before, this year it was MyGov, last year it was MyGov, the year before that it was the COVID safe apps that were the number ones, all right? So it is absolutely going off like a frog in a sock. All right, so next slide. How does TikTok work? The algorithm in TikTok is amazingly, amazingly clever. It is by far the best algorithm of any of the social media apps. So what it does is if you watch a video and you watch it all the way through, it goes, oh, you like that content. I'm going to send you other content that's just like that. So if you watch that cat video, you will get a shit ton of cat videos, all right? Or videos that use music. But it will do that. It's incredibly smart. And the other thing it does is it goes, oh, you like that. That means that somebody who's like you will like that. So it starts sending it into their feed as well. The great thing about that is if you are a creator, it means that, sorry, they use the phrase creator, it's a bit wanky, but there you go, right? If you make stuff, it actively finds an audience for you. How many people, like when Facebook does stuff, do you see everything that your friends post on Facebook? No, Facebook is actively blocking people from seeing things. TikTok actively wants you to look at things. So it goes to find things and it wants your stuff to be seen. So the great thing about it is you don't have to have many followers for something to go viral. Because once people start watching it, TikTok goes, oh, people like this. I'm going to start sending it to more people. And if they like it, it starts going, oh, absolutely. And so in a day, a video can go from 1,000 views to 100,000 views. It just keeps pumping it out, right? So the other thing about it is people spend a lot of time on TikTok compared to the other social media platforms. An hour a day, roughly, is what people are spending in Australia on TikTok, 29 hours a month. And when they go onto it, they spend longer each time because TikTok is a vortex, right? So it absolutely sucks you in because it's curating the kind of content that you want to see. It says you want to see, people end up in the nichest places. I watched somebody clean a cow hoof once because it was fascinating. I had to stop doing that because it kept sending me stuff like that. It absolutely curates it, right? So that's why TikTok, now, next slide. Now this, I want you to look at this. This is a graph of two demographic groups, 18 to 24 and 55 and over. That white line is the percentage of TikTok users who sit in that demographic. And the purple line is the percentage of trade union members who sit in that demographic. So this is why TikTok is important. All right, I know that we think it's piss funny, right, that I'm up here talking about TikTok, but if you look at that, the demographic that is on TikTok are not trade union members and they're not us. And we have to go to the places and spaces where they are. It's not good enough anymore to say those young people don't understand unions, they should just join, because we're not in the places and spaces where they are, if you look at that demographic there. So this is why TikTok is actually, while it's piss funny and the cat video was great, it is actually important, right? Next slide. So this is the actual demographic of TikTok users, and you can see there, right? You see that demographic there in those age groups. 55 plus, I am the minority, all right? I'm a very small group. See that there? So 70% of TikTok users are age 34 and under. more than 70%. So if we want to talk to those groups, we might want to think about using TikTok. And you compare that to the Meta platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, the demographic breakdown is roughly the same. So while they are bigger overall, it's not the place and space necessarily where young people are these days. All right, next slide, please. So how do I think we can use it? Next bit. No, forward. There we go. All right, so number one, it's a good place to talk to young people. 3 areas where we generally use social media, right? We use it for persuasion, we use it for recruitment, and we use it for mobilisation. So in terms of persuasion, it's about getting our message out there. Now, the TikTok, the far right is actively organising on TikTok. They're in there. They're saying to young men that the reason why you feel disaffected and things aren't going great is because feminism is bad. And they are saying to people, the reason why they're not saying your jobs are being sold overseas by blokes in suits, right? They're saying it's brown people coming to take your jobs. Those are the messages that people are getting. So if we want to counter those, we actually have to go into the place and space and do that work. The second thing is, in terms of mobilisation, literally like we use any other social media, right? You just talk about the things that we are doing. And then the last one is recruitment. So I was talking to the person who does the ACTU Young Workers page. So they have a page of where they have creators who do different TikToks for them. It's the 3rd highest place for recruitment for new members through the ACTU. They had 100 new joins last week through people clicking on the TikTok link that's in their bio. All right. So it's a place that you can recruit. Next slide, please. So here is an example. Now, the first thing I will say is this TikTok here has been viewed when it was put out. This is one of ours, over 130,000 times. All right. And this was part of a Honey Burdette campaign. So for those of you who know, Honey Burdette is a store that sells women's lingerie effectively. And we were running a campaign against gendered violence because the workers in there were experiencing terrible, terrible gendered violence from customers, right? And so we were running a campaign, and what we had a petition running. So we did a TikTok that linked to that petition and that followed through. So do you want to play the... Now, let's be clear. I don't understand why 130,000 people watch that. But that's because TikTok isn't my demographic, right? That particular TikTok used what's called a trend. So what happens in TikTok is if somebody uses a piece of music and then other people start to use that piece of music, then gradually that becomes like a wave and a whole lot of people, and that music starts to have its own meaning. So they used that. And we got, I think it's close to 1,000 signatories to that petition, just from people clicking on the bio, because you have to you can't do it from the TikTok, clicking in to the bio for the megaphone bit there, and then clicking the link into the petition, and then clicking the petition itself. So it's good for that. Next slide, please. Now, this one here, we're going to show you first, which is the one on my right, your left. This was one done by our Young Workers team, and it was during the federal election campaign. And again, it used a trend. There was a piece of music that started being used by everybody to signify moving. This is about moving forward, right? Okay, so let's play it. 365,000 people watched that. In terms of persuasion, again, it's not aimed at my demographic, but that absolutely watched. Now, for those of you who are a bit anxious saying, I don't do the dancing and I don't do the music thing, I'm going to show you one of mine because I don't do that. You have to guess what I'm trying to get people to do here. See, pretty simple. Come to the rally. And people came. We had a massive rally. Now, not just because of that, there was a lot of stuff happening at the time, but you can see it doesn't have to be colour and music and all that stuff, right? You can literally just talk to camera. All right. So who's got the TikTok app? Woo! Yeah, I hope you're all following me. Thank you. All right. For those of you who don't, I'm going to talk to you a bit about social media generally, but I want you to take this opportunity to go to your app store and I want you to download the TikTok app. All right. And if we have time, we're all going to do a bit of a chanty video together and I'm going to get someone to upload it onto their TikTok. Now we can all watch it. All right. So I want you to download it. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. All right. Let's talk about what works when you're doing TikTok. Next one. Yep. All right. The number one thing people are looking for is authenticity. So when you do TikToks, if you're going to do these things, you've got to talk about stuff that you care about. You've got to talk about stuff that's personal. I do a whole range of stuff. My TikTok is not just political. I do TikToks about queer issues, feminism, trade unionism. I do TikToks about my family because they're freaking hilarious. I do TikToks about my mum because I miss her terribly. She died more than 10 years ago and I still miss her. So I do TikToks about that. I do TikToks about mental health issues, my grapple with mental health issues along the way. All of them are things that I care about and they're things that I will therefore talk about, right? So authenticity is really important. If you don't believe in it, don't talk about it. Next slide. Second thing is consistency. Now, and I don't mean by topics because you can see I talk about a whole range of shit, but I do it with mine. They're all one style and I regret this style enormously, but it's what I've got. I do them in one take. I talk to camera in one take and I use props. And anyone who has ever tried to do that will know that what that means is I do sometimes things a lot of times because when you use props, they go to shit. They have a mind of their own. And that means you've got to refilm it, right? But that is my style. I talk directly to camera. I do it in one take. You don't have to do that. You can do it in lots of different takes. So this was my TikTok for International Women's Day.
Bible speakers talking about prisoners and talking us and not the system constructed that oppresses. No more champions, right? No more programs talking as if the only way change can happen is at the pace and in the way that those in power are comfortable. No more business case, right? Because if you're talking about equality, because it's the way that you can make more money, then what happens if you can make more money from discrimination? What if you can make more money by buying from or selling to countries where women are brutalized? And lastly, not talking about breaking the law too, without also talking about raising the national law. Basically, no, law.
A lot of muffins died to make that TikTok, but over 375,000 people watched it, right? So that's a good thing for me anyway. But also, that's my style. Everyone has their own style. The critical thing when you do social media of whatever kind is that you use your own language and your own style, all right? The next tip. Next slide. Yes. The thing about you can do 10 minutes. Just to be clear, no one is going to watch your 10-minute TikTok. No one is going to do that. 10 seconds, ideally less than a minute. That's the ideal. Now, I say this to you with great love and affection. In the union movement, we have a tendency to want to say all the things at once, right? The thing about TikTok as a medium, or the thing about any social media, is don't do that. One idea, not even one topic, one idea about that one topic. That is how you engage people. We don't do 18-page screeds. It's not a flyer, right? That people are going to, you know, read cover to cover. It's just, nobody does that with flyers anymore either, by the way. The social media, it's got to be clean and clear. And I say this as a trade unionist, we need to cut back on the things that we say. Short, sharp, clear, and simple is what works on social media. So if you find yourself with this much, do this. If you find yourself, if you happen to go on TikTok doing something and it's taking 8 minutes to say it, you're saying about 7 minutes too much. Harsh, but fair. Really, we don't have to include you. Social media is voracious. You are going to have so many chances to say the things that you did not get a chance to say in your 8-minute video. So don't stress about it. You'll get that chance. Lastly, and this is always very important with any social media, know what it is that you're trying to achieve with the post that you are doing. Are you trying to persuade people? Do you want to recruit people? Do you want to mobilize people? This is part of that. Keep it simple. Focus just on that and the essential information that you need just to do that. That's all you got to do, right?